Hello everyone, good morning and welcome to today's lecture. So today what we are going to do is we are going to cover a bit of portion that was left out from the tax audit, and then we'll see the questions for the company audit. Okay. So last time in the last lecture, we discussed about the tax audit. We were discussing about various clauses of Form 3CD, and we were left with some of the clauses of Form 3CD that we will be covering today. So in last lecture, we discussed till clause 30 CA and CB, that was with respect to section 96, okay, of Income Tax Act. Now we will start with clause 31A for today. Okay. Clause 31A, B, BA, BB, BC, BD, and C, C, D, and E are linked together. These are the clauses which are linked together with respect to the same type of transactions, or bit of differences there, but they are linked together. Okay. In order, and I'll be taking up all these clauses together so that you can have a clear understanding about these clauses. Okay. Now let's start with clause 31A. 31A. Okay. Now, when I talk about clause 31A, if you see, it talks about particulars of each loan or deposit in an amount exceeding specified limit in section 269 SS taken accepted during the previous year. So here what it talks about, particulars of each loan and deposit that is exceeding the limit specified in 269 SS. So if you have taken any loan or deposit with an amount exceeding which is specified in 269 SS, then in that case, you need to specify the details for that. We need to specify the detail accordingly for that particular amount that has been taken. Okay. And you need to focus on taken or accepted during the previous year. So it talks about taken and accepted. Loan or deposit taken or accepted during the previous year. Okay. Now, what is the limit of 269 SS? Quickly, guys. And anyone answer? What is the limit of 269 SS? Quickly. What is the limit that is provided under section 269 SS? Come on, guys, quickly. So if you see section 269 SS, okay, we are only referring for the limit. Okay. We are only referring the section for the limit. We are not referring section for anything else. If you see the section itself, 269 SS, it talks about 20,000 rupees or more. The limit which is specified is 20,000 or more. So to summarize for this particular clause, if you have taken or accepted loan or deposit taken or accepted, okay, greater than rupees 20,000, okay, greater than rupees 20,000, then you need to provide the particulars. Now, what particulars you need to provide? Name, address, PAN of or Aadhaar of the person of the lender, okay, amount of loan or deposit taken or accepted, whether the loan or deposit was squared up during the previous year, maximum amount outstanding at any time during the previous year, whether the loan or deposit was taken or accepted by check or bank draft. In case loan or deposit was taken, accepted by check or bank draft, then whether the same has been accepted by account pay check or bank draft. So these are the things that we are required to report. Okay. So to like in amount accepted more than 20,000 during the year is required to be reported here. Again, particulars of each loan and deposit. Clear? Okay. Now let us see clause B. Clause B talks about particulars of each specified sum in an amount exceeding the specified limit in the section 269 assets taken or accepted during the previous year. Now there are two things to focus here. One, it talks about each specified sum, and again amount exceeding the limit specified in 269 assets. Now the question comes is, what is specified sum? Where can I see what is specified sum? Okay. So can anyone answer from where I need to see the specified sum over here? What do I know? This is here each loan and deposit, fine. But what is specified sum? Where can I find specified sum? Come on, guys. Come on, quickly. What is specified sum? From where I will go and check what is specified sum? Good, Janvi. Good, Viraj. See, when I talk about specified sum, I need to refer to the section again 269 SS to understand what is specified sum. If you read 269 SS, it talks about specified sum means any sum of money receivable, whether advance or otherwise. Okay, whether advance or otherwise. Okay, in relation to transfer of immovable property, whether or not transfer takes place. So if I receive any money, advance or otherwise, for transfer of my immovable property, and it doesn't matter whether the at the end transfer happens, that will become my specified sum. So specified sum transfer of immovable property. Okay, if you are getting a specified sum that is pertaining to the transfer of immovable property, if you are getting transfer from immovable property, okay, in that case again the limit specified is to 20,000 in 269 SS. Okay, in 269 SS the limit is 20,000. If you are accepting each specified sum, again acceptance, sorry, greater than 20,000, okay, then you are required to report here. Then you are required to report here. Again, the word accepted, very important. Now, okay, fine. I understood. Okay, if I accept specified sum more than 20,000, I'm required to report here. But what I need to report? Again, same name, PAN of individual, amount of specified sum taken or accepted, whether the sum was taken through bank account check or electronic mode. If bank account check or bank draft, then whether it was account pay or not. Okay. Okay. Third section, BA, which was later on introduced in Form 3CD, very important. Particulars of each receipt in an amount exceeding the limit specified in 269 ST in aggregate from a person in a day or in respect of a single transaction or in respect of a transaction relating to one event or occasion from a person during the previous year where such receipt is otherwise by a check or bank draft or use of electronic clearing system through a bank account. Now, a lot of things in this particular, clause. If I have to include, a lot of things are there together. Okay. First, the clause talks about particulars of each receipt, okay, with an amount exceeding the specified limit of 269 SST. Now, what is the specified limit under 269 ST? What is the specified limit under 269 ST? Come on, guys, quickly. Limit specified under 269 ST. What is that limit? Come on, quickly. What is the limit that is specified under 269 ST of the Income Tax Act? Come on, quickly. I'm waiting for your answers. Fast. No issues, Namrata. Quickly, guys, quickly. What is the limit that is specified under 269 ST? Now, if you go and read the section, it says that the first line itself, no person shall receive an amount exceeding rupees 2 lakh or more. So the limit is 2 lakh for 269 ST. Okay, fine. So particulars of each receipt in an amount exceeding 2 lakh rupees aggregate from a person. Again, what it says is aggregate from a person. Okay. Or in a day or in a single transaction or in respect of a transaction relating to one event. So they're talking about from a person, but that too in a day or in a series, okay, or in respect of single transaction or in respect of transaction relating to one event or occasion from a person. So three things. One, they are talking about person. Second, they are talking about the conditions from in which they can receive an amount from that particular person. It could be in a day, it could be in respect of a single transaction, but multiple days. It could be in respect of transactions relating to one event, but again, multiple days, multiple things could be there, or on an occasion from a person. Okay, from a person or occasion from a person, aggregate from a person or occasion from a person during the previous year, where such receipt was by otherwise than by check or bank draft or use of electronic clearing system through bank account. Means by cash. Like if I have to summarize this, that means by cash. So if you are getting more than 2 lakh from a person in a day in respect of a single transaction, in respect of transaction relating to one event, occasion from a person during previous year, okay, in cash, then you are required to report here. So now the question is the term each receipt, whether it's only related to the capital receipt or revenue receipt also. So here it is both capital plus revenue. Now this is very important. Why? The reason because if a normal business transaction, sale, purchase, let's say I'm selling the goods, I'm selling my goods, okay, I'm getting an amount from my buyer and he's paying me in cash. Okay, let's say it was a contract. I sold him the goods of 30,000 and he gave me the cash in multiple, 20,000 each day, like in a series of some days. Okay, he paid me 3 lakh rupees. Now that 3 lakh is amount exceeding the specified limit of 2 lakh aggregate from a person, that is my buyer, in respect of a single transaction, that was single sale transaction, but it was aggregate more than 2 lakhs. Otherwise, then by account pay check, bank draft, or electronic clearing system, or through bank, that is in cash, then I am required to report that amount over here. Then I'm required to report that amount over here. Okay. So if I have to summarize, specified sum, more than 2 lakh, in cash. If these three conditions satisfy and the day is one, yes, it will be reported. And what we will report? Same. Name and address, pen. Name, address, pen. Nature of transaction, amount of receipt. Okay, and date of receipt. Now again, this is not the specified sum. This is not a loan or deposit. It talks about each receipt. Okay. Then BB, 31 BB. What it talks about? Particulars of each receipt in an amount exceeding the specified limit in 269 ST in aggregate from a person in a day on respect of single transaction, or in respect of transaction relating to one event or occasion from a person, received by check, bank draft, not being account pay check or bank draft during the previous year. Now it is the same. Okay, it is the same. If you see particulars of each receipt, then amount exceeding 269 SST, then in respect of, in a day, in single transaction, in respect of transaction relating to one event or occasion from a person. Okay. And it is talking about aggregate from a person. Then this is very important. Received by check or bank draft, not being account pay check or bank draft, which is known as a deemed cash. Okay. If you have a check or bank draft, but that is not account pay, it's a deemed cash in eyes of Income Tax Act. However, remember, deemed cash is not a term which is defined in the Income Tax Act, so don't go and see the definition within the Act itself. Okay, it's just a term that we use, for the better understanding that okay, it's not cash, but it's calculated and taken as a deemed cash within the Act itself. So same everything, but earlier it was pure cash, now it is deemed cash. Means check or bank draft, which is not account pay. Same condition, same thing. So any receipt, oh, I actually by mistake, wrote specified sum over here. My mistake. It will be any receipt. Any receipt greater than 2 lakh, deemed cash. Okay, then you need to report here. And what you need to report? Same. Name and address and permanent account number or Aadhaar of the payer, amount of receipt. But here they don't ask you for the date of receipt. Remember, there is one thing that is being not asked, that's the date of receipt. So there is a change. But what happens is, gradually the changes are being aligned. If you see what you can say, utilities or everything, so gradually they are aligning all the changes, all these, streamlining all the differences. But as of now, yeah, date is not there. Only name and address and amount of receipt. Clear? Okay. Now 216 31 B and C. Okay. So this clause talks about particulars of each payment made in amount exceeding specified limit 269 ST in aggregate to a person in a day in respect of single transaction, in transaction relating to one event, otherwise done by account pay, check, bank draft, electronic clearing system through bank during previous year. Everything is same. Everything is same. Okay. Except the word each receipt has become now each payment. The word each receipt has now become each payment. If you compare BB and BC, each receipt became each payment, but rest everything is same. Amount exceeding the limit. Okay. Aggregate to a person, that could be in a day or in respect of single transaction, in respect of transaction relating to one event, occasion to a person. That too, other than by check or bank draft. Okay, that is cash, or use of, other than use of clearing system. That is cash. Amount exceeding my 269 ST. ST is rupees 2 lakh rupees. Okay. So now I'm talking about payment. Earlier I was talking about receipt. Again, payment can be capital pay, like for capital goods, or can be for normal revenue related payments. But it talks about each payment. Same. The only difference is receipt and payment. That is like, sorry, it was earlier BA, which was pure cash. Now it is BC, that is pure cash, but for payment. Each payment amount more than 2 lakhs. Okay, and in cash. You need to provide the details. Which details? Name, PAN or Aadhaar, nature of transaction, amount of payment, date of payment. Clear? Anandi, like which transition phase, if you can tell, if you can, just clarify a bit more on that, I can, then appropriately answer. And the related resources are available on the BOS portal. Okay. So any doubt, guys? Any doubt till now? Any doubt? No? Okay. Now, BD. Okay. BD again, very important on the same line. So it's like BB, but the thing is, only the word receipt has been changed to payment. So BB was any receipt 2 lakh or more deemed cash. Deemed cash. Now it is and particulars of each payment made in amount exceeding the limit in aggregate to a person in a day, or in respect of single transaction, or in respect of transaction relating to one event occasion to a person, made by check or bank draft, not being account pay check or bank draft. Okay, not being account pay check or bank draft, or an account pay bank draft during the previous year. Then you need to provide name, address, everything, and amount. So simple. Each payment, amount exceeding the specified limit. Now that payment in aggregate to a person, then it could be in a day, in respect of single transaction, in respect of transaction relating to one event, occasion to a person, okay, made by a check or bank draft, or which is not account pay check or bank draft, that is deemed cash. In that case, you need to report. So any payment, or I should rather word use each payment, greater than 2 lakh, deemed cash. Okay, in that case, report it here. Clear? Any doubt? BC talks about particulars of each payment, which is cash, that is otherwise than by a check or bank draft. But BD talks about that it is made by check or bank draft, but which is not account pay. So the only difference is one side I have a without check, one side I have a check, but that is account pay. So cash versus deemed cash. That's the difference between BC and BD. And you talk about BABB, that is same, but for the receipt side. Okay. So BA, BB, BC, BD, all four talks about limit of 269 ST, receipt and payment, cash and deemed cash. These are the things. Okay. Then the next clause, which is 269, that is 31C. This was 31 B series, BA, BB, BC, BD, 31. Now I'm coming to 31C. Okay. So originally it was 31A, B, C, D. Then they introduced various to the B. Okay, various clauses to B clause. Now we go to 31C. Particulars of each repayment of loan or deposit or specified advance or any specified advance in an amount exceeding the limit specified in 269D made during the year. Now we'll go back to A. What A was talking about, particulars of each loan or deposit. Particulars of each loan or deposit with an amount exceeding the limit specified in 269 SS. Okay. And B was talking about particulars of each specified sum with an amount exceeding the specified limit of 269 SS. So A and B we had for the specified sum plus loan and deposit, two different clauses. But when you come to C, when you come to 31C, you see a different thing. You see that, okay, now the repayment of loan, deposit, or any specified advance clubbed together. So loan or deposit or specified advance, okay, exceeding the limit specified in 269T made during the previous year, then you need to report here. So again, I'm talking about here the word repayment. A, B were purely accepted. If you see over here, if you see the accepted over here, that is purely A and B talking about accepted word. Okay, so A and B talks about being accepted, anything that you accept. Okay, any amount that has been accepted, that is A and B. But when you talk about C, it talks about repayment. Okay, and then if there is a repayment for loan or deposit of or any specified advance. Now again, in B we saw this term that it is specified sum, each specified sum. Okay, now we are seeing specified advance. Both are different. Specified sum, and here it is specified advance. Okay, not the sum. So there is a difference. And the question is, if there is a difference, then in that case, what is the meaning of specified advance? If this is not the specified sum, then what is the meaning of specified advance? Come on, guys. What is the meaning of specified advance over here? What do you mean by specified advance over here? Quickly. Come on quickly. What I mean by specified advance over here? For this particular session, you should keep the act nearby you, the whole income tax act. Because as I told in my last lecture also, to understand Form 3CD, you need to have a good understanding of the relevant sections of income tax. Come on, guys. Okay. Now, when we saw specified sum, it was with related to something with related to transfer of immovable property, whether transfer is happening or not, that we have received. Specified sum is something that we have received. Okay, so let's say for example, Mr. X, he pays an advance for transfer of immovable property to Mr. Y. Okay, if he pays an advance for transfer of immovable property, then what will become so that will become my specified sum that we discussed over here for the transfer of immovable property. If any amount has been accepted, then it will become specified sum. So Mr. Y will have it as an specified sum. Okay, for Mr. Y it will become specified sum. Now if you read the definition of specified advance, talks about that specified advance means any sum of money in the nature of advance by whatever name called in relation to transfer of the immovable property, whether that transfer takes place or not. Again, talks about nature of advance by whatever name called in relation to transfer of immovable property. And 269T talks about particulars of each repayment of loan, deposit, or any specified advance. Okay, loan, deposit, or any specified advance. So if you pay any amount for specified advance, then that will be recorded here. Then that will be recorded here in 31C. Okay, that will be recorded in 31C. Now, there is one more question. Whether it should be repayment of specified advance or it could be a payment of specified advance, there is a very, very big confusion on that area. So the word is used repayment. Okay. The word is used which is repayment. Then now the question comes is whether it is repayment of specified advance or payment of specified advance. Like, come on, whether it should be, I should consider it a repayment of specified advance, that I'm repaying it when I accepted for the once, when I accepted something, I'm repaying it, then I only I report it, or it's just a first time payment. Come on, guys, quickly. So should I consider first time payment, or should I consider that okay, once I taken and then I'm repaying it? So that's why the term repayment is used. What should I take? Payment, or how should I report it? First time payment or subsequent payment? How should I take this particular clause? Very important. Come on, guys. Okay, some are saying that for Mr. X, it will be specified advance. Okay, can it be specified advance for Mr. X? Can it be specified advance for Mr. X? So here for Mr. X, it will not be a specified advance. Trust me. For Mr. X, if I do this specified advance, this is a payment of amount, not the repayment. Repayment is somewhere I'm accepting first and then I'm repaying it. Okay. Accepting first, then I'm repaying it. That's why the term repayment is used in each clause. Repayment and the term outstanding is used. Okay. Again, the term repayment, repaid. It's not paid, it's not payment, it's repayment. Repayment means when Mr. X or Mr. Y will pay that amount back to Mr. X, that will be repayment. When a specified sum received by Mr. Y, if he repays the specified sum back to Mr. X, or if he repays any loan or deposit that was taken earlier, in that case, it will be repayment. So I'm talking about paying back by Mr. Y. Again, for Mr. X, if you say for Mr. X, it will be specified advance. then that is wrong understanding. That is wrong understanding. It's not. For Mr. Y only, it will be specified advance when he will repay back. So if Mr. Y repays specified sum, it will become specified advance. Or in other way, let's say for example, loan or deposit which was taken earlier, but then it was converted for the property, and I'm paying the amount back, which was converted for the property, it will become specified advance. So specified advance is something that I'm repaying in fact, and that's why the section 269C and D both are important, because both talk about repayment, not the first time payment. It's a second payment after acceptance of the deposit. So name and pen. In case of deposit, in case of repayment, you need to amount of repayment, maximum amount outstanding in the account at the time during previous year, whether the repayment was made through bank or account pay check. Again, the word repayment is used everywhere. And in case of repayment was made by check or bank draft, whether there was account pay or not. Clear? So I'm talking about repayment, loan, deposit, any specified sum, limit exceeding 269T. Now 269T, the limit talks about, again, it's 20,000 rupees. So to summarize, repayment of loan, deposit, or specified advance of rupees 20,000 or more. It is not talking about whether cash or bank draft or anything. It is by default by account pay check or bank draft. Now, why? Reason because 269T itself creates a limitation for not transacting in cash for more than 20,000. Okay. But this section only asks you detail which is not in cash, which is whether repayment was made by check or bank draft. Answer is no. If there is no, then automatically the person will be understood that he has contravened the section 269T of the Income Tax Act. Now the question is where the first time payment will be covered. If someone is paying for the first time, will that be covered? Will that be covered over here? Now that's very good question, but the way clause 31 is designed, it is to understand the transactions of loan from the side of recipient, not from the side of lender. So that's why these transactions in such a way they are designed. Okay. Now D, 231D, again, particulars of repayment of loan advance, loan deposit or specified advance, amount exceeding the limit 269T, received otherwise than by a check or bank draft or use of electronic clearing system through bank during previous year. Okay. Earlier we were talking about repayment of loan and advance in an amount exceeding the limit. Now this is talking about repayment of loan or deposit or specified advance in an amount exceeding the specified limit received otherwise than. Okay. Now it comes to the picture where we are talking about Mr. X. D and E is something, from the Mr. X point of view. If I talk about this transaction. So till C, it was designed for the recipient. Again, like, the whole clause is designed from the recipient side. So whosoever is getting the money. Okay. But not from the lender side, because very important is that if a person is receiving the money, then how he is receiving. So the owners and everything, responsibility is on the side where the amount is coming into the system or into the accounts and books of the person. Okay, so it's designed in such a way. Okay, because it covers, if you like for example, let's say if Y is repaying, then again Mr. X will become a recipient. So if you cover from a recipient side, by default you will be covering everything. It's no requirement to cover from the lender side when you are already covering from the recipient side. Because if I am today repaying it, okay, then the person will become recipient, Mr. X, and he will be covered. Now, clause D, very important change compared to my clause C. Very important change. Now, clause D talks about, okay, particulars of repayment, loan, or deposit or specified advance. Amount exceeding the limit 269T. But but there is one change here. But there is one change in this particular clause. It talks about advance, or sorry, repayment of loan, deposit, or specified advance that has been received. If you see the word, very important word, received over here, which was not there earlier. So the word received was not there. It was repayment, pure repayment. It is with the repayment, it is something we are talking about repayment being received. Again, repayment being received. So if I talk about repayment being received, then this particular clause will be there. So means if someone is repaying me and I am receiving that repayment, I become a recipient, and at that particular point in time, I need to report that any repayment of loan, deposit, or specified advance amount exceeding the limit specified in 269T received otherwise done by an account pay check or bank draft or through electronic clearing system. So what it talks about, repayment received. Okay, amount exceeding rupees 20,000 or more to otherwise then by account pay check or bank draft, that is cash. If you receive a repayment of more than 20,000 in cash, then you need to report it. Now receiving a repayment will be for Mr. X. He is receiving the repayment. Again, he is receiving the repayment, and accordingly that is required to be reported here. Clear? Any doubt till now? Any doubt? Okay. So there are few doubts. Uh, okay. Sure, Anand. Sure, Namrata. Okay. Let me explain again. So Anand, you want to understand from same transaction within same transaction. Okay. Now, when Mr. X pays for the first time any advance or transfer, it is covered in B, 31B. Okay. So the first time payment, this will be covered clause, sorry, clause 31B, because it's for the specified sum that is being paid. Otherwise, it would have been 31A. Okay. So if I take a same transaction, but now I'll convert it to advance and deposit. Mr. X pays loan to Mr. Y. Okay. Amount is, let's say, 1 lakh rupees, more than 20,000. Okay. Now this amount, assuming for Mr. X and Mr. Y both tax notice is applicable, then this transaction will be recorded in clause 31A for Mr. Y. Again, this will be for Mr. Y. Okay. Now, if Mr. Y repays rupees 1 lakh, if Mr. Y repays rupees 1 lakh of 1 lakh, then this particular transaction, okay, will be covered. This repayment will be covered here. Particulars of repayment of loan on deposit or specified advance in C. So this repayment will be covered in C. Okay. Again, for Mr. Y, we are talking about Mr. Y. Mr. Y got A and C. Good, very good. Now coming to D and E. Let me cover E also. The difference only between D and E is D was talking about otherwise then by account pay check, whereas E is talking about account pay check, which is check or bank draft, which is not account pay. So like a deemed cash. So this talks about deemed cash, but everything is same. Okay. So repayment of loan or deposit or specified sum, amount exceeding specified 269T, which is received. Okay. But here the only thing is deemed cash. Now let's say, for example, this repayment is through account, is otherwise then by account pay check. Okay. Let's assume this is otherwise by account pay check. Deemed cash. Or let's say cash or deemed cash, whatever it, let's say, for example, hypothetical example. Then this repayment will be received by Mr. X. And if he receives the repayment more than 20,000, either in cash or in deemed cash, then Mr. X, let's say in this example, this is deemed cash. This will be repayment received. Will be required to report. So Mr. X will only report when it is cash or deemed cash. Okay. Now, when I say Mr. X, that is repayment received. So Mr. X will only report the repayment received when it is either in cash or deemed cash. But For Mr. Y, I need to report each and every repayment of loan more than 20,000, irrespective of the mode of payment. For Mr. Y, repayment made. The word made is not used. Okay, I'll highlight also, underline also. The way the word is not used in the clause, but for your explanation. So for Mr. Y, repayment made irrespective of mode of payment for 20,000 or more will be reported in clause 31C. Again, you need to focus on the word repayment I'm talking about here, not the first time payment. Same way, acceptance will be, if it is acceptance, if this repayment is acceptance, okay, irrespective of mode, more than 20,000, then this clause 31C will become 31A. Clear? Oh, sorry. I hope it is clear now. Any doubt with respect to this clause? Because this is very important to understand from that point of view. Trust me, this is very important to understand the clause in holistic way. It covers a lot of things. Okay. Now, the doubt is with there was a term used that in respect of single transaction, in respect of transaction relating to one event. When I talk about one event, it could be, let's say one sale, one contract, one particular, agreement under which the payments are being made. So any one event could be, there is no definition that is provided for the one event or in, but it could be construed at one single transaction or one single agreement or one single contract under which the person is bound to pay the amount. That is one event. And when I use the word occasion, reason because if it is, in respect of transaction relating to one event or in respect of single transaction, so it doesn't matter if you do in one day. It counts occasions, number of occasions when the payment being made. It could be, multiple times in a day, or it could be in multiple days. That's why the word occasion to a person, the occasion word is used. Clear? So A, B, and C are linked together. Okay. A, B, and C are linked together. BA, BC, BD, BE, BD are linked together. BA, BC, BB, BC, BD. All these four are linked together. then D and E are linked together. Okay. And B and D, you need to provide name of the Aadhaar of the, if you see the word here, payer, because we are talking about received amount. So I need to provide the details of payer, who is paying to me. Okay. Repayment of loan and advances and everything, like whether it is through account pay check or account pay, that is the thing we need to report here. So again, if you see the word received is used. Same way for my E clause also, I need to provide the name and the mode of payment. But the important point is, again, they have mentioned the term payer or the received, because D&E talks about from the other side where you have, where the person has received the repayment. Now, everywhere there is an exception. Exception is that in case of receipt or payment by government company or banking company, post office, savings banks, cooperative bank, okay, are not required to be reported. So any transaction with the government company, government, banking company, corporation, central or state or anywhere, not required to be reported. Clear? So I'll just write the summary for this also. Repayment received rupees 20,000 or more through cash. Sorry, deemed cash. Okay, good. In aggregate means, let's say for example, you are paying in tranches 10,000, 15,000, but which is less than 20,000. In cumulative, in aggregate, it will become more than 20,000. Okay, let's say for example, I'm paying 10,000, 5,000, 10,000, 5,000 to avoid the limit. But in aggregate, will ask you still to report, because in total, it should not exceed 20,000. Not only single transaction, but small transactions, which totals up to more than 20,000, you need to report it here. That is in aggregate. Okay. Okay. Let's move forward then. Then the rest of the clauses are pretty much quick and easy. That's we'll discuss. That was very important clause 31. 31 again. 31 A, B, and C are together. 31 BA, BB, BC, and BD are together. 31D and E are together. So they talk about loan, acceptance, and repayment. They talk about BA, BC, BD. They talk about any receipt, and payment more than 2 lakhs. And D&E talks about repayment received. So there is one doubt and question being asked. Suppose if I have received 10,000 from one person and 15,000 from another person, am I required to report because it cumulative becomes 20,000? No, generally what 269 sorry 31A and B talks about, you need to report particulars of each loan or deposit amount exceeding 20,000. Okay, amount exceeding 20,000 from for each loan or deposit I'm talking about. So if there is a loan or deposit from a person which exceeds 20,000, then only you are required to report. So again, the person is very important over here. Okay, reason because in total, if I receive more than 20,000, but from two different persons, it will not be reported over here. Okay, so these how these clauses works is they work from a person. Okay, I need to see a person. Okay, I it doesn't matter that I receive in trenches, but if I receive in trenches from a single person, then I need to report over here. Okay, okay. Now let us see 32A. 32A talks about details of brought forward loan and sorry, brought forward losses and depreciation. So 32A talks about that. Okay, provide the details of any brought forward loss or depreciation allowance in the following manner to the extent available. So the following manner is, you need to provide assessment year, you need to provide nature and loss of allowance, amount returned in rupees, uh, allowances loss not allowed under section 115 BA, BAC and BAD. That there was the change which was brought, and amount adjusted by withdrawal. Okay, there is I'm sorry, there is a cut over here, but it is talks about amount assessed. Okay, amount assessed, if any, under order, basically assessed under order. That's it. So these are the details that we need to provide for the brought forward losses or depreciations. Okay. So this is how we need to provide the details of brought forward losses and depreciation. Then again, you need to provide some more details with respect to that whether there has been change in shareholding of the company. Okay, whether the change of shareholding of company has taken place in previous year, due to which loss incurred in prior to the previous year cannot be allowed or carry forward in terms of section 79. If yes, then you need to report whether the assessee has incurred any speculation loss referred in 73 during previous year. If yes, then details of that. Whether the assessee has incurred any loss referred in 73A in respect of specified business. If yes, then details of here. And in case of company, please state whether the company is deemed to have carrying an speculative business as referred in 73. If yes, then the details are details of the loss from such speculative business is required to be furnished here. So basically, this talks about brought forward losses and depreciation. Then the next section is clause 33, which talks about deductions. So if you have any deduction under chapter 6, 6A, chapter 3, that is, section 10, 10 AA, then you need to provide the detail of that. So you need to provide amount inadmissible as per the amount admissible as per the provision of Income Tax Act, circular guidance or whatever it is, section under which it is claimed. So whatever deductions you are claiming under chapter 6 or chapter 3, that is 10A, 10 AA, then you need to report it here. Clause 34, it talks about whether the assessee was required to deduct or collect tax. Just a minute. Yeah. Basically, clause 34 talks about whether the assessee is required to deduct or collect tax as per the provisions of uh, chapter 17B or double B. If yes, then provide the details. So it talks about whether the assessee was required to collect or deduct TDS or collect collect tax, that is TCS. If yes, then you need to provide the details, like what was the 10 of the assessee, under which section it has been deducted. Okay, 194H, 194R, 194I, whatever it can be. Okay, nature of payment as per the section, total amount of payment or receipt of the nature of specified sum, total amount on which the tax was required to be deducted, total amount on which tax has been deducted compared to, let's say I was required to be required was 100, but I deducted only on 80, or I have deducted on more amount, whatever it is, compared to amount of tax deducted or collected. Okay, so I was required to be deducted this much, then I deducted the amount deducted or collected. Okay, total amount on which tax was deducted or collected at the rate specified. So lower deductions. 7 is a lower deduction. Amount of tax deducted or collected on 8. Okay. So lower deduction, amount on which lower deduction was applicable, and how much amount I have collected or deducted on lower deduction basis. Then amount of tax collected not deposited to the credit of central government. Okay, not deposited. So if there is amount which are not deposited, then it will be reported in 10. And in part B, 34A talks about collection details or deduction details. Part B talks about the statements or returns that you are required to file for TDS or TCS. Okay. So you need to provide 10. You need to provide type of form, date of furnishing, and whether the statement contains the information and all details that are required to be there. If not, then provide the details that what is missed in the current case. Okay. So here TDS collection or deduction details. Then the same is returns detail. Okay. Then this is for the TCS, whether the assessee is this is for the interest. If there are any interest on the delayed payment, whether the assessee is liable to pay interest under section 2011A or 206C. If yes, then please furnish. So the 10 amount of interest, that is an amount paid out of the that interest was due or required to be paid. How much has been paid? So interest on late payment, basically. Of TDS and TCS. That was my 34. 34 basically talks about A, B, and C. A, TDS details. B, TDS returns. C, interest. Now coming to 35. 35 A, B are A, B is divided in two parts. 35A talks about it for a trading concern. Okay. 35A talks about trading concern. 35B talks about manufacturing concern. Now, what 35 talks about? Details of stock. Or slash inventory. That is the 35. Okay. Now, for a trading concern, I do not have a manufacturing. So what I will have is opening stock, purchases, sales and closing stock, and any shortage or excess. I need to provide quantitative details. Okay. I need to provide quantitative details of principal items or goods traded. Now, what that means? So I'll bifurcate this particular sentence. So first I need to provide quantitative details of principal items of goods traded. So quantitative details means I'm not required to report amount, but report the quantity of goods or stock. Now, principal items, that is majority of the items that are there. Principal. Now, there is a, basically, if you see the term principal item, or, if you refer to any of the clause here with respect to the principal item, okay, you won't find definition for the principal item. If like it is not defined anywhere, what is the term principal item is. Now, if the term principal item is not defined, then from where we need to take the reference of this particular term? That is very important. Okay. So the term principal item should be referred to, from your, what do you say, from your business. Okay. I can say what are the 10 or 15 items, or you can say more than 10% of total stock. Okay. Can be your principal item. But again, it is up to your interpretation, how you need to interpret the term principal item. I will say major stock, which, on a quantitative or a qualitative, on a amount side, it becomes part of my sale. Major stock that is being traded, goods traded, quantity principal items of goods traded. So what is the major stock that I trade into, that will become my principal item. So I need to report the quantity of major stocks. That's the quantitative details of principal items of goods traded. In case of manufacturing concern, what I need to do is I need to provide quantitative details of principal items of raw material, finished goods and byproduct. Three things. Principal items of raw material, finished goods and byproduct. So I have A, B, and accordingly divided. A talks about raw materials, B talks about finished goods and byproduct. And I need to provide quantitative details like opening stock, purchases, consumption, sale, closing, yield of finished product. Okay. Percentage of yield and shortage or excess. So this is how I need to provide. Same way for the finished, I need to provide opening, purchase, quantity manufactured, sale and closing stock with shortages. Clear? Any doubt? Any doubt till now? Okay. Then coming to clause 36. Okay. Clause 36A, which is a newly insert, talks about whether the assessee has received any amount in the nature of dividend as referred to clause E22(2), deemed dividend. If yes, then provide the details that amount received and date of receipt. So it talks about deemed dividend. So if there is any deemed dividend, then details of that. If the assessee has received deemed dividend, then the details of that. Okay. Then clause 37. It talks about whether any cost audit was carried out. If yes, then give the details. If any qualification, it's any disqualification or disagreement on any matter, item, value, quantity, as may be reported, identified by the cost auditor. So details of cost audit you need to provide here. Okay. And disqualification or disagreement on any of the items you need to report, which has been identified or reported by the cost auditor. So 37 talks about cost audit. 38 talks about central excise audit, basically. Now the thing is that if you see the clause 38, okay, it is from the nature of central excise audit. Okay, if there was any central excise audit done, and then any information that is required to be done under this particular act. So not that much relevant, but as of now, because this is no longer that much applicable. Okay, so any audit carried out under the Central Excise Act, if yes, then give the details, same like my cost audit. I need to provide the details here. Okay. Okay. Then 39, very important, because again it's on the same line. It's on the same line. Okay. Sorry, 39. It's on the same line with respect to 38, but it talks about whether any audit was conducted under Section 72 of Finance Act. That's a service tax. Again, which is not relevant now, which is not applicable because service tax is no longer applicable. But if any audit has been done in previous year with respect to the service tax, with respect to any of the previous demand, or with respect to any of the previous matter for which the audit was done now, then we are only required to report. Clause 40 is about the ratio analysis. So 40 talks about some details and ratio analysis, like turnover of the assessee, gross profit by turnover, net profit by turnover, stock in trade by turnover, material consumed by finished goods produced. So gross profit by turnover is a GP ratio, net profit by turnover is an NP ratio, stock in trade by turnover, so inventory turnover ratio, and material consumed by finished goods. Okay, so ratio of that. So accordingly, these ratios are required to be given. Okay, for current year means previous year and preceding previous year, for two years basically. So ratio analysis. Forty talks about ratio analysis. 41. 41 basically talks about, sorry, 41 basically talks about furnishing of details of any demand raised or refund issued during any previous year other than income tax or wealth tax. So if there is any details of demand raised or refund issued, could be on GST, could be on other tax laws, anything. Okay, then you need to provide the details over here. Normally such tax laws will include GST, central excise, service tax, customs, VAT, or any other professional tax, or any other tax, luxury tax. So if there's a case, then you are required to report it here. Details of demand raised or refund issued, but other than income tax and wealth tax. Okay. Now, like 42 talks about whether the assessee is required to furnish statement in form 61 or 61A or 61B. So furnish statement in 61A, B, or 61. Okay. So there are section 139A, 5C, rule 114B, rule 114C, and 4D, where it provides the detail, for the person who are required to furnish these statements. Okay. So person raising a bill in respect of payment in cash exceeding 50,000 in a hotel or restaurant. Person raising bill in connection with a foreign travel more than 50,000 in cash. Okay. Accordingly, these rules are given and they are required to furnish the statements, okay, or specified transactions. Now, these, if the person is required to furnish the statement, then you need to provide the detail over here, like income tax department reporting entity identification number, okay, REIN, that is being allotted to each of the person who is required to file such statement. Type of the form 61AB. Due date for furnishing. For 61, the due date is 31st October, where declaration in Form 60 have been received before 30 September. So 61 is required to be filed when you receive the declaration in 60. But if you have received the declaration by 30th September, then the due date is 31st October. If the declarations are received, like not before 30 September, then it will become 30th April. 61A, the due date is 31st May of immediately following financial year. Again, 61B, the due date is 31st May. So you need to provide due date of furnishing, if any, like in comparison to the due date when it was furnished, and whether the form contains the information or transactions that were required to be reported. So you need to study the form, you need to see whether the details that were required to be there in the form are present or not. Okay, so 61, 61A and 61B for the details are which are required to be submitted over here. Clear? Any doubt till now? So 61A talks about Rule 114E, where you need to provide nature and value of transaction in respect of the statement that is required to be filed under Rule 114E. Okay, and again, if you talk about 61B, it is 114F, 114G, and 114H. So these are the specified transactions which are prescribed under these rules. You need to see in detail. There are a lot many conditions prescribed there. Basically, Section 285BA, which provides the reporting and reference to the rules. Clear? Okay. Then my clause number 43, which talks about whether the assessee or its parents or alternate reporting entity is liable to furnish as referred in subsection 2 of 286. Okay. If yes, then please furnish the details whether the report has been furnished by the parent or alternate reporting entity, name of the parent, name of alternate reporting entity, and date of furnishing. Now, under section 286(1), every entity, constituent entity resident in India, okay, part of an international group, okay, which is again, other entity which is not part of the which is not resident in India, notified by income tax authority, is required to report, okay, over here. Now, that is under form 3CAC. That reporting is done under form 3CAC, okay, by alternate reporting entity or parent entity, okay. Then that if that reporting is done by the alternate reporting entity or parent entity, that will come over here. Okay. So if that alternate reporting is done, then it will be reported over here. Basically, you might have heard about CBCR, country by country reporting. It's CBCR. It's talked about the CBCR, country by country reporting over here by alternate reporting entity. There is lot defined under 286(2) when the entity is required and liable to furnish the return, who can be called alternate reporting entity. For that, you need to refer to 286(2). You can say CBCR by alternate reporting entity. That is 43. 44 was, recently introduced. It was deferred for the 2 times, but then like it is now applicable. This is a very highlighted clause, I'll say, very highlighted. Reason because I'll tell you. What 44 talks about. 44 says that breakup of total expenditure of entities registered or not under GST. So you need to provide breakup of total expenditure. Okay. And what it asks you in a tabular format, it says that please provide total amount of expenditure incurred during the previous year. Okay. Total amount of expenditure incurred in previous year with relating to goods or services exempt from GST. You need to bifurcate the total expenditure into in these categories, like relating to goods or service exempt, relating to entities falling under composite scheme, relating to other entities registered, okay, other relating to other registered entities, okay, or then you need to provide total of payment to registered entities. Now this was in respect of registered entities, but when it is not registered, you need to provide expenditure in detail of entities not registered over here. So what I'll do is I'll provide the total amount of expenditure first, then I'll bifurcate the total amount of expenditure. So let's say total amount of each head of the expenditure I need to give up, because it is talking about breakup of total expenditure. Okay. Here the word is used, breakup of total expenditure. So I need to provide head-wise, nature-wise, okay, the total expenditure. I need to give a breakup of these total expenditure. But if you see now the utility, okay, where you need to submit the form 3CD, over there, the space of the breakup is not given. The space of the breakup is not given. So as of now, what we are required to do is we are required to provide only breakup in these categories. Okay, breakup in these categories. So hence, as of now, head-wise or nature-wise expenditure details are not, asked by the department in utility itself also. So you need to just provide the breakup of total expenditure under these clauses, under these particular sections, whether it is related to the exempt, whether it is related to entities falling under composite, relating to registered, relating to payments, or that is unregistered over here. When, okay, when you will get the appropriate, detail in utility, at that particular point in time, we are also required to bifurcate under various tests, but as of now, it is not there. Okay, so this is with respect to the details that is required to be given in respect of GST from expenditure side, that okay, total amount of expenditure that is related to exempt goods, that is related to entities falling under composite scheme, that is related to registered entities, other registered entities, and that is total payment to the registered entities then. Okay. So 6 will be total of 3, 4, and 5. That's why the word total is used over here. Clear? Now, why this is a very important clause is because this requires the detail at very, like to prepare this detail and to prepare this report, a lot of things are required. Bifurcation between exam, composite, relating to other registered and unregistered. So when you are maintaining your records, assessee is required to maintain the records at these levels where they can identify each and every expenditure tagged to in these categories. Namrata, just to understand why the logic behind this clause is to understand that today still how much of the expenditure is going to registered entity and how much is going to unregistered entity from each entity's side. Okay, so this data will be gathered, will be taken together for all the entities whose tax audit is applicable. They will study and they will see how much of the portion is still going to unregistered, how much is going to the exempt, how much is going to the total, normal registered or composite, and they will do some analytics. So that's from the analytics side, they require the data. At the end, you have a signature, address, date, and place in same like form 3CA or 3CB. So this is form 3CD, whole with all the clauses. Any doubt with form 3CD? Any doubt? Okay. If no doubts, then what I suggest is like let's take a quick 10-minute break. You gather back after the break. We gather back after the break. If you have doubts, you can ask, or else we'll start the company audit. Okay. Let's take a quick 10-minute break. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the lecture. Okay. Any doubts with respect to the tax audit? Any doubt? No? Okay. If no doubts, then let's proceed to the company audit. Now, like we did in standards, okay, same approach we are going to follow in company audit. I will be just covering the practical side that as specified in the last lecture also, that I will be covering on the practicals and questions in the company audit. I will not be discussing the detailed provision in the company audit. Okay. So I expect you guys to know about the provisions, including CARO, okay, that we will be discussing now. Okay. Shall we start, guys? Let's start quickly. Yeah. Okay. So I will be reading the question, okay, and I will be expecting answers from your side with the reason. Okay. Let's see the first question. Kulkarni and Company were appointed statutory auditor for Manpower Works Limited for FY 21-22. Kulkarni and Company accepted the appointment on 6/5/2021. The company were part of the global network of CA firms named as North. Kulkarni and Company widely used the brand North Partner Firm before its clients, increasing the goodwill of the firm. Okay. It was mandatory for the firm registered under North to follow the policies, procedure, IT system, and knowledge base decided by the network. These were the 5 CA firms. There were 5 CA firms in North, all registered under ICI. One of the firm, Natraj and Company, were internal auditors of Super Support Limited, a subsidiary of Global Manpower Limited, which was also parent of Manpower Works Limited. Okay, which was also parent of Manpower Works Limited. Mr. Kaushik, one of the independent directors, Manpower Work Limited, challenged the appointment of Kulkarni and Company as the statutory auditor. Kindly guide Kulkarni and Company with respect to the objection raised by the independent director by selecting appropriate option from below. Now we'll not go to the option first. We'll discuss the question and then we'll see the options. Now, in this case, there is a company, Manpower Works Limited. Sorry. Okay, who has appointed Kulkarni and Company as their statutory auditors. The company that Kulkarni and Company CA firm is also part of North network, global network of CA firms. Okay, they use the brand name of North Partner Firm, which has increasing the goodwill of the firm. Okay, the North firm registered under North, they have to follow policies, procedure, and knowledge base decided by the network. There were 5 firms in that particular network. One of the firm, Natraj and Company, were the auditors of Super Support Limited, a subsidiary of Global Manpower Limited, which was parent of Manpower Works Limited. Now, Mr. Kaushik, independent director, has challenged the appointment of Kulkarni and Company as a statutory auditor. You tell me whether Mr. Kaushik can challenge or not. Whether Mr. Kaushik can challenge the appointment or not. Quickly, guys. Okay. And I want the reason for the answer. If yes, then why? If no, then why? So I want with answer with answer with reason. Come on, guys, quickly. I want to answer with reason. Why you are saying yes or no? See, it's very important to understand the provisions which will be, at play in this particular scenario. Trust me, very important provisions with respect to. I'll give you a hint. Okay, guys, I'll give you a hint with respect to appointment of auditor. Provisions with respect to appointment of auditor is the hint here. You need to think from that point of view. Okay, okay, Tushar. Good. Okay, Jay. Good. Good, Namrata. Correct, Janvi. Appropriately correct. Absolutely correct. Yes. Correct, Janvi. Well done. Come on, come on. So a lot of people are answering. That's very good. That's very good. I want more answers. I'm still waiting for rest of the people to answer. Okay. Good, good. So yeah, I have received a lot of answers. But now, before I discuss answer for this particular question, okay, before I discuss answer for this particular question, I'll park all of your answers. I'll park all of your answers and I'll discuss one more thing. Just a minute. Just sorry for the glitch. Okay. So before we discuss the answer, okay, I want to discuss same question on same line, and then we can discuss the provision appropriately, accordingly. Okay, let's park your answer as of now and let's see this question also. Mr. Akash, partner in APL and Company, was also a director and majority shareholder in Good Advisory Private Limited. Okay. APL and Company were appointed statutory auditor for Manpower Works Limited for FY 21-22. It's not related to the one, it's a different question, but on with respect to the same provision. So Akash and Company, okay, Akash was partner in APL and Company. APL and Company were appointed statutory auditor, and the firm accepted the appointment on 6/5/2021 by nominating Mr. Pratap as the engagement partner. Okay, so they nominated Mr. Pratap, not Mr. Akash. Mr. Akash is also a partner, but they did not nominate him. Mr. Akash was a director and majority shareholder in Good Advisory Private Limited, along with being partner in APL and Company. Now, by nominating Mr. Pratap as the engagement partner for the stage engagement, Good Advisory Private Limited, okay, was rendering outsourced financial service to Global Manpower Limited, which is a parent company of Manpower Limited. So Good Advisory, okay, is providing service to Manpower, Global Manpower, which is a parent company of Manpower Works Limited. Again, Mr. Kaushik has challenged the appointment and of APL and company. So you tell me whether Mr. Kaushik can challenge the appointment or not. Akash is a partner in APL. APL appointed statutory auditor and they appointed Mr. Pratap as the engagement partner, not Mr. Akash. Mr. Akash is a private limited which is providing advisory to its parent whether appointment can be accepted or not. Come on, guys. Whether the appointment can be accepted or not. Very important. So the provision that I'm going to discuss is very important provision. Okay, related same on same line. Okay, but these two portions will definitely enhance our understanding about the appointment of auditor because that's the first step that an auditor needs to think about. Auditor needs to verify whether he himself is eligible for being appointed as a statutory auditor or not. If you don't, then you will be held guilty also of professional misconduct. And if can anyone tell me which clause I'm referring from the professional misconduct also, then bonus point for that particular person. Okay, Tushar. Come on, guys. Reason, Namrata, for your answer. Come on, guys, quickly. I have black out the answers as of now. I'll be discussing once we are done with the question. So I'll be opening the answer once we are done with the question. Come on, guys. Think from a point of view when you are being appointed as an auditor, what things come into play? What are the things you are required to look into? And accordingly, you answer. Okay. It could happen that Mr. Kaushik is going a step ahead, or he is, his challenge is not appropriate in this case, might be appropriate in first case, or might be not appropriate in first, or could be appropriate in second. So you need to think whether the challenge is appropriate or not. So Mr. Akash is not majority shareholder in parent company. He is in majority shareholder in an advisory firm, advisory company, which is providing some services to parent company. So he's not in majority shareholder in a parent company. Just to avoid confusions. So he is a majority shareholder in a company which is just providing some services to parent company. Although he is not the engagement partner. He is not the engagement partner. Engagement partner is someone else. Amazing, Jay. Good. But there is half of the answer. Half is still there. Half is still pending, Jay. think from a point of view where you need to, like when you are being appointed as an auditor, at that particular point in time, what you will do. If today I come to you, okay, I'll appoint you as an auditor, what you will do at what you will perform as your first steps when you receive like proposal for being appointed as an auditor. We just now saw those things when we were discussing standards. Come on, guys. Okay, Tushar. Okay, correct. Correct, Tushar. Very good. If you when anyone comes to you for with a proposal that I want you to appoint as an auditor, and if you miss out that important step, if you miss out that important step, then you can be held guilty of professional misconduct, and you should be aware of that. That's why that's very important. And if you tell me which clause I'm referring from the professional misconduct, bonus points for you. Come on, guys. Could be a question in exam also, this one. Okay, just okay, let's go to the first question now. Okay, now first of all, you tell me, okay, when you are getting appointed, which section you will refer from the Companies Act? If you are getting appointed, which section is applicable to you? If you are being appointed as an auditor, which section is applicable to you? Not from the side of the company, but you need to you yourself needs to think about. Auditors is required to provide a certificate. Okay, auditor is required to provide a certificate. Correct, Tushar. Correct, Jay. Correct, Namrata. But auditor is required to provide a certificate at the time of his appointment. With respect to his consent, there is a specific section in that certificate. He needs to provide a confirmation with respect to a specific section. No? Nothing? Any idea? Okay, let us see now. Let us see the provision first. 139, appointment of auditors. Okay. Sorry. (139) Appointment of auditors. Now, under this section 139, okay, there is a proviso to clause 1. The proviso talks about that provided further that before such appointment is made, okay, provided further that before such appointment is made, the written consent of the auditor to such appointment and a certificate from him or it that the appointment, if made, shall be in accordance with the conditions as may be prescribed, shall be obtained from the auditor. Also, second proviso, provided that the certificate shall indicate whether the auditor satisfies the criteria provided in 141. He needs to provide that he satisfies the criteria of section 141. Now, what is 141? 141 talks about eligibility criteria. Okay, 141 talks about eligibility criteria, that who can be an auditor of a company. Okay, which says that a person shall be eligible for appointment as an auditor of a company if he is a chartered accountant. So first criteria is a chartered accountant. Then, provided that the majority of its partners are practicing in the India, are qualified as an appointment. In case of a firm, and its firm needs to be auditor of the company. Okay, fine. Where a firm, including a limited liability partnership, is appointed as an auditor of a company, only the partners who are chartered accountants shall be authorized to act and sign on behalf of the firm. Fine. Okay. The following persons shall not be eligible. You need to refer to shall not be eligible for appointment. And which are those? Body corporate, officer or employee of the company, person who is a partner or who is employment of an officer of the company, a person who is relative is holding any security or interest, okay, in the subsidiary of his holding company, provide the relative may hold as a prescribed amount. The prescribed amounts are given in the rule. In debt to the company, provided his relative in excess the prescribed amount that is there, has given the guarantee or provided any security, okay, with indebtedness of the any third party to the person, to the company or its subsidiary, holding, associate, or subsidiary of any such amount as may be prescribed. Prescribed limit is given. Now, a person or a firm who directly or indirectly has a business relationship with the company, its subsidiary, holding or associate company, or subsidiary of such holding or associate company of such nature as may be prescribed. Okay. Now, this such nature as may be prescribed over here. Okay. If you see this particular such nature, which is specified in the rule, that talks about basically rule 10, where the business relationship can be in commercial nature, except, so there is also an exception given, okay, except where which are professional service which are permitted to be rendered by auditor or audit firm under the act, and you can say, permitted under Chartered Accountants Act or a Companies Act. So, first point, business relationship means commercial transactions, except services permitted, but which services do not, which services, the services which are not permitted are outside the scope of exceptions. So, Again, it will become green. Outside scope of exception means which will fall under the terminology of business relationship or commercial transaction. That is services not permitted. Very important. Commercial transaction includes services except services which are permitted. So commercial transaction does not include services which are permitted, but services which are not permitted are part of commercial transaction. Okay, are part of commercial transaction. That is one. Okay, then a person who is a relative or is a director or employment of the company or the director or key managerial person, a person who is in full-time employment elsewhere, okay, or a partner of a firm holding appointment as an auditor, if such person or persons at the date of such appointment or reappointment holding appointment as an auditor for more than 20 companies. Okay, so limit of more than 20 company. A person who is convicted by court, fine. Important one, very important one. A person who is directly, indirectly rendering any service referred in 144 of the companies to the company, its holding company or subsidiary company. The term directly or indirectly has been defined in 144. So if a company is if a person who is directly or indirectly providing service which is under section 144 to the company, to its holding, to its subsidiary, then yes, they will be disqualified or they will not be eligible. Now, what is directly or indirectly? That is something we need to understand. If you see section 144, it has the explanation. The term for the purpose of this subsection, term directly or indirectly shall include rendering of service by auditor, okay, in case of auditor being firm, either itself or through any partner. Again, either itself or through any partner, not necessary the engagement partner, through any of its partners, or through its parent, subsidiary, associate entity, or through any entity. That is very important. Through any entity. Which whatsoever in which firm, in which the firm, any partner, or the firm has a significant influence or control, or whose name, trademark, or brand is used by the firm. Important. Whose name, trademark, brand is used by the firm or used by any of its partners. In that case, that will fall under the definition of directly or indirectly rendering the service to the company. Okay. Now, in our first case, Natraj & Company is the auditor of Super Support Limited, a subsidiary of Global Manpower, parent of Manpower Works Limited. Okay, which is also parent of Manpower Works Limited. Now, so they are providing service to a related company which is holding or subsidiary. Okay, in the current case. In current case, it's a holding company, parent company of Manpower Works Limited. Now, if they are providing service to the parent of Manpower Works Limited, and the service is being provided by one of the entity which is using a brand, trademark, okay, in that case, it is directly or indirectly providing service. Okay, it is directly or indirectly providing service. Now, the important part is which service they are providing. That is very important. So they are section 144 talks about, 141 talks about rendering of service which are specified under section 144. And 144 has the service account bookkeeping, internal audit, design implementation, actuarial service, investment advisory, investment banking, financial service, rendering outsourced financial, management service, and other kind of service as may be prescribed. In the current case, they are providing internal audit service. They are providing, okay, internal auditors service, internal audit service. Now they are providing directly or indirectly internal audit service. As a result, this service is covered under section 144. And this falls under the definitions of, okay, indirectly or directly. So through an entity in which the firm or whose brand name or trademark is used by the firm. So if they are providing services through any other entity whose name or trademark is used by the firm, then it will be covered under directly or indirectly. Plus the services are also part, okay, of section 144, which falls under the eligibility criteria over here, that person who is directly or indirectly rendering services preferred under 144 of the Companies Act to the holding company or its subsidiary. So here they are providing service to the holding company directly or indirectly, which is referred under 144, and hence they cannot be appointed as an auditor. So providing services directly or indirectly which are specified under section 144 of the Act, hence not eligible for being appointed. Okay, not eligible for being appointed. Clear? Any doubt till now? Any doubt, guys? Any doubt in question number 1? Is it clear or not? Should I explain it again? Why he is not eligible for being appointed? Why Kulkarni and company is not eligible? Okay. Now let's come to the second number question. Here, Mr. Akash was the director and majority shareholder in Good Advisory Private Limited. So now Mr. Pratap was other than the engagement partner, but Mr. Akash was a partner in APL, and they were providing services to parent company Global Manpower Limited through Good Advisory Private Limited. Whether this will be covered in this particular section or not, whatever we have discussed till now, whether you will apply the same provision over here or not. Come on, guys. Quickly. Whether you will apply the same provision or not, or whether I can apply it or not. If I cannot, then why I cannot apply same provision? Come on, guys. Good, Namrata. Very good. Quickly. Quickly, guys. Come on, guys, quickly. What should be the answer over here? Okay. Good, Janvi. Come on, guys. Whether I will be able to apply the same provision or not. I just now explained in detail. Whether I will be applied to same whether I will be able to apply same provision or not. Quickly. I'm still waiting for your answer. Okay. So to understand whether I will be able to apply or not, first I need to understand whether the criterias are getting triggered or not. Number one. My 141 was saying that a person who is directly or indirectly rendering any service, which is 144, which is prescribed in 144. First of all, let us see the type of service that is being provided. So the type of service is here outsourced financial service. Okay. Now, whether this is part of 144? Yes, this is part of 144. If you see, rendering outsourced financial services, this is part of 144. Now, okay, 1 point triggered. Now, let us see the second point. 141 says that a person who is directly or indirectly rendering, okay, to the company, its holding or its subsidiary. So, to whom the service is being rendered? Now, the service is being rendered to Global Manpower Limited, which is the parent company of Manpower Limited. So, it is being rendered to the holding company. So, my second condition is also fulfilled. So, first part was rendering the service of 144 to parent or to its subsidiary. Now, the third part is directly or indirectly. Now, to understand whether it's directly or indirectly, I need to go to the explanation. Now, explanation says that either himself or through any of its partner or through its parent, subsidiary or associate entity. Okay, either through itself, through any of its partner, or through its parent, subsidiary or associate entity, or through any other entity whatsoever in which firm or any partner has a significant influence. Now you need to note, through any other entity where any partner has significant influence or control. If Mr. Akash is majority shareholder, then he has a significant influence or control in that entity. And if in case of firm, if through any other entity in which the partner has significant influence through any other entity in which the partner has significant influence or control, that if they are rendering the services through any other entity, then it will be counted directly or indirectly. So here, through any other entity, that is Good Advisories Private Limited, in which the partner, that is Mr. Akash, had significant influence because he is majority shareholder. So this is being satisfied. All these three things are being satisfied, means this falls under the category of directly or indirectly. My third condition is also satisfied, means third part of the condition, directly, indirectly, rendering 144 service and to its holding company. All three things are there to trigger that particular provision. If that provision is triggered, then on the same line, yes, APL and company will not be eligible because all the three things of the provision are being triggered. Clear? Any doubt, guys? Any doubt? I'll open up the answers. Okay. You can choose one of the option from below. So person directly or indirectly renders any service referred in section 144 to the company, its holding or subsidiary shall not be eligible for appointment. So that is a one. Rest are not correct. Reason because this talks about only directly, not indirectly. This talks about renders any service to the company, not holding or subsidiary. That's why this is also wrong. And this talks about who directly, indirectly renders any service other than the assurance engagement. That is not correct because we need to refer to section 144 for the list of services. That is also not correct. Same way, I'll open up these answers also. Okay. And same are the options. And so our option will be option A. Not B, C, or D. Clear? Any doubt? Any doubt, guys? Any doubt? Was it easy or was it difficult? How was the question? Easy or difficult? Do you think this was easy or difficult? Easy? Okay, good. If this is easy, then this good. Means you are practicing and you are understanding the things, and you can remember the provision. So it's good. If you can easily apply, you can easily crack down a particular scenario. It's very, very good. Okay. So always focus on the question, like, okay, let's say, for example, if this is appointment, which are the relevant provision? 139, 140, 141. 139 talks about complying with the 141. Okay, certificate and eligibility. So I'll go 141. I'll remember, okay, whether there was any condition or not. If yes, then I'll understand and I'll answer accordingly. Now the question is, now someone has asked a query, how we can remember that much things, these many things in exam? The simple answer is practicing the questions, solving the questions, okay, understanding in detail. Okay, so if you'll practice as much, let's say, for example, when I'll read 141, I'll remember, okay, these are the conditions. When I'll read 144, I'll read the conditions, fine. Okay, but when in exam, if you are not solved a type of a question, then it will be difficult for you to correlate. Let's say, for example, if the question comes on the same line in exam, if another question comes in exam on the same line, like this one, now you will remember, okay, we did that question, we did on the same line in my previous lecture, or in my in any of the lecture, or in my exam, in my practice or mock test, I did same type of question where there was an application. Okay, so practicing is very, very important, and thought process, okay, how you are thinking about a question is very important. Okay, let's move to the next question then. Again, very good question, I'll say. Not because I have drafted, but because, yeah, it clears a lot of things. Okay, Host Biotechnology Limited was an NST listed company engaged in biotechnology and nanotechnology research. The company registered more than 200 patents in its name since inception. Okay, so company has already more than 200 patents in its name. The company is known as a market leader in the above mentioned field. The annual turnover of the company for financial year 21-22 and 2021 were 6,500 crores and 10,500 crores respectively. APL company were appointed statutory auditor for FY 21 and 22. For the company, okay, while auditing the company, they noted the following. They noted the following things. Okay. Number one, the company did not maintain a register for its registered patents. However, the company maintained the registered. However, the register did not have the full particulars as to the date of registration, date of expiry, and the full details of patent. So they had the register, they maintained the register, but it was not having full particulars. Number two, the company did not maintain any records of the research in progress. However, only brief reports of their ongoing research were available from concerned department, which also did not have full particulars. So company did not maintain any records of research in progress. Brief reports were available, but did not have full particulars. Brief reports did not have full particulars. Okay. Upon inquiry with the management for the same, the management replied that their research is on the use of biotechnology and nanotechnology to study the impact of virus and vaccines, which includes very complex details, and hence it's complicated to maintain adequate records of their research. Fine. As a result, the audit team could not verify the balance in the financial statement pertaining to intangibles. In financial statement, the intangible that the patents were shown at the book value of 1 crores. Kindly guide the auditor with respect to the reporting of the above matter in his audit report. So you need to guide the auditor with respect to the reporting of above matter in his audit report. How will you report the same matter? How will you report this particular matter in your audit report? Let's say you are the auditor now. You have identified these things. How will you report? Come on, guys. Again, thought process. If you want to report what thing you are seeing in the question, which could link to your report, come on, quickly. Which thing is related over here? How will you report the same matter in your audit report? Quickly, guys. How will you report the said matter? Absolutely correct, Janvi. Very good. But that's the half part. Half is pending. Think of the name of the chapter for which we are discussing the question. Somewhat hint you can get from there also. See, like, if this is related to company audit and all other topics, something you hint you can get it from there also. So think from that point of view. However, in exam, that hint might not be available. You need to think from a holistic point of view to a question. Here also you need to answer from a holistic point of view, but I'm giving you a hint. Come on. I think it is pretty easy. Nothing difficult here. Janvi, your answer was half. Half is still remaining. Come on, guys. Think from a point of view that, okay, when you are reporting, if you identify something which is not appropriate, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with that particular thing? Very important. Okay, let me tell you. There are two things in this particular question that we need to focus upon. Number one, this particular line, the audit team could not verify the balances in financial statement pertaining to intangibles. Okay, and book value was this much amount for the intangibles, which included the patents of 50,000 crores. Okay, number one. Number two, if I compare 150 with 150 with my turnover, so turnover is only 6,500 crores and 10,500 crores for FY21 and 22 respectively. So compared to turnover, intangibles are material, and if there is a misstatement, then that could be pervasive, okay, that could be pervasive because of the amount and materiality involved in the current case. Fine. Okay, now I understood there could be impact which is material and pervasive. So if I'm not able to verify anything, I am required to issue either adverse opinion, but the another alternate to the adverse opinion here, because I am not able to get the details, okay, I could not identify the impact of misstatement. I could say there could be a possible effects of misstatement, which would be pervasive because I don't have the detail as of now. As a result, the another option is disclaimer of opinion. And that is as per SA 705. That was the first part of the question. Pretty easy. Reporting, pretty easy. Fine. Good. Okay. However, the second part of the question is reporting under CARO 2020. Why? Number one, company is a listed entity, turnovers are there, CARO is applicable to the company. There is no exemption or anything available to it. Okay. From the question, we can identify because turnover is high, it's a listed entity, limited company, not a private limited. So not a small company, not Section 8 or anything which is given here, not a banking company. Okay, insurance, like other companies like. So CARO is applicable for sure. Now there is a para in the CARO. Okay, there is a particular para in CARO which talks about basically to report on, okay, whether the company is maintaining proper, whether the company is maintaining proper record showing full particulars of intangibles. So if I talk about its para 3.1, okay, you can say para 3.1 part 3.1 B, which talks about full particulars or maintaining proper records okay, maintaining proper records showing full particulars of intangibles. If that is not the case, then you need to report in para 3.1B of CARO 2020. If that is not the case, then you need to report it over here. Okay. So I did not have, they had the register, but did not have the full particulars. Company did not maintain any records of the research in progress. So there was a missing details of intangibles, because of which I could not verify the intangibles, and hence the requirement of reporting under CARO is also applicable, or you need to report in CARO. So not only SA 705 will be applicable, but reporting under CARO will also be applicable. Now the question was how to deal in his audit report. Okay, other than the audit report, let's say for example, hypothetical example, other than the audit report, where you will report this particular matter. Other than the audit report, where you will report this matter. Let's say keep audit report aside. If I have to ask you where else you will report this matter other than the audit report, what would be your answer in that case? Other than audit report, if I ask you to report this matter, where you will report it, and what would be your answer? Will I not report under SA 265 or 260? To those charged with governance with respect to anything which is, changing my form and content of audit report, communication with those charged with governance. So if I have to report other than my audit report, I'll communicate to those charged with governance because it's a significant matter, plus it's impacting my form and content of audit report. Absolutely correct, Janvi. So this is how you need to answer this particular question. Clear? Any doubt? Sorry. Any doubt? No? How was this question? Easy or difficult? Do you think this was easy? Or is what difficult? I think it was easy. Okay. If no doubts, then guys, please provide your feedback. That is really, really important for me. please provide your feedback. The reason, because with your feedback, we will be able to understand whether you are like it is fulfilling the objective or not. So our objective is to provide you the knowledge and to make you enable to attempt the exam in appropriate way so that you can clear the exam. Okay, to make you understand the topic, to make you understand the how to answer a question. Okay, practice. So if we are able to achieve that objective, then it's very good. So for that, to understand that, we need your feedback. Please provide your feedback. That is very, very important for me. Okay. So in next lecture, what I will be doing is I will be taking up some more question on the company audit, CARO and Schedule 3. Plus, I will be starting another topic that will be audit committee and corporate governance. So SEBI LODR will be part. So when I will be discussing the questions, it will also include portion of the SEBI LODR in it. So please, be ready with the SEBI LODR. Okay, read the study material, and we'll go through the SEBI LODR because there are certain amendments that I want to discuss in that. Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you. Thank you for participating in today's lecture. I'll see you in the next lecture. Ashok ji.